I would just like to say thank you, Chris. I don't know if I said that enough to you. Thank you for everything that you did over there. You were pretty awesome. I introduce to you our valedictorian, Chris Volpi.
Thank you, Mrs. Maldonado, and good evening, everyone. I am greatly honored to be up here speaking to you all tonight at the class of 2018 graduation. When you think about it, graduations are kind of strange. You all get dressed up, come sit in a big room, and then watch a bunch of kids parade across the stage in gowns and pointy hats. I mean, seriously, what is it with these things? But pointy hats notwithstanding, however, I think the strangest thing about graduation is the emotional aspect. To be honest, I don't think any of us are exactly sure what kind of emotions we're supposed to be feeling right now. On the one hand, we're all happy, but on the other hand, we're all feeling somewhat sad as well. If I had to describe the atmosphere of tonight in one word, I would say it's bittersweet. You see, graduating high school means a lot of great things. It means no more school uniforms. I honestly think it'll be quite a few years before I can bring myself to wear khakis again. It also means no more gym classes. Miss C and Miss Pierce were great teachers, but sports and I just really do not get along. I once faked an illness to get out of wiffle ball, not my proudest moment. And most importantly, it means no more lunch detentions. By the way, Mrs. Maldonado, I still maintain my innocence. I did not deserve any of those. All right, maybe a couple, but that's beside the point. Clearly, there's a great deal to be happy and excited about. However, graduating high school also brings along some bitter changes as well. Leaving ACS means leaving behind many of the things that have defined these past 4 years of my life. For example, it means saying goodbye to some incredible teachers who have changed me both as a student and as a person. These are teachers like Miss Alarcon, who has put up with me since 9th grade, acting, among other things, as my listening ear, counselor, and quite literally friend. Mrs. Fogel, whose hilarious sense of humor made English class one of the highlights of my ACS experience, except for the time she sent me to lunch detention, of course. Mr. Rhett, who showed me how to write, think, and debate like a college student, although we didn't always agree when it came to politics. And Mrs. Gatto, who, besides being an all-around incredible teacher, had a caring spirit that never failed to brighten my school day. Graduating high school also means leaving behind my classmates, many of whom have become some of my closest friends. Whether we were riding tricycles up and down the street in biology class, gallivanting around Athens, Greece on a mission trip, traveling to Boston for a Model UN competition, ferociously debating politics in government class, by the way, Julian, I won that argument, or getting stranded for 12 hours in a Turkish airport, yes, that actually happened. Every moment spent with this crazy, hilarious, and at times extremely dysfunctional family was a memorable one. I mean it when I say all of you have become like brothers and sisters to me, and I would not have wanted to spend these past 4 years with anybody else. And finally, for those of us who will be going away for college, graduating means leaving behind home, which can be one of the hardest things of all. My family, particularly my parents, have been my biggest supporters throughout my high school career, and living 700 miles away from them while I earn my degree will no doubt be extremely challenging. My parents have shown me what it means to live a life of integrity, dedication, and hard work, and their example continues to inspire me every day. It was my parents, in fact, who made the decision for me to enroll here at ACS, and that is something for which I am incredibly grateful. Without my mom and dad, I quite literally would not be up here speaking to you all tonight. So if you're really not liking this speech right now, you can blame them. As you can see, graduation represents a departure from the ordinary. The daily routine that we have followed for the last 4 years is no more. We are bidding farewell to our teachers, friends, and families, and stepping out of the familiar and into the great unknown of the real world. It's immensely exciting. It's also immensely scary. But no matter how daunting it all may seem, we must continue embracing the change and uncertainty of the future, rather than allowing ourselves to become paralyzed in the present. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "What you are afraid to do is a clear indication of the next thing you need to do." Now, when I was getting ready to write this speech, I was told a valedictorian is traditionally supposed to offer some sort of inspirational advice to his fellow classmates. And at first I thought, I'm just a young, naive teenager. Who am I to give life advice to anyone? And then I remembered, heck, I've been giving my unsolicited opinion to people for years. Why should I stop now? Therefore, I'd like to close out with the wisdom of an old Chinese proverb: be like a tree. Okay, that's not really a Chinese proverb, it's just some nonsense I made up in the shower last week, but hear me out. Trees are constantly growing, sprouting new leaves, producing fruit, branching out, and always getting ever taller. They are also constantly changing from season to season, and this change is what drives the growth cycle. All the while, however, the tree remains rooted in the spot where it was first planted. So, in your lives, I encourage all of you to be like a tree. Never stop growing, never stop trying to reach just a little bit higher, and make sure you embrace change, because change is what drives growth. But most importantly, while you look skyward, always remain rooted in the foundations of the past. Never forget where you came from and the wonderful people who molded and shaped you along the way. And remember the lessons, mistakes, and experiences of your younger years. Continue to grow, continue to change, but never lose sight of who you really are. Now it is getting late, and I know we are all eager for our diplomas, so I think it is high time that I make like a tree and leave. I'm sorry you had to hear that. But before I go, I just wanted to extend a big thank you once again to all the teachers, faculty, and parents who made our high school experience possible. And of course, say a huge congratulations to my classmates, the American Christian School class of 2018. Now, in the words of the late, great Martin Luther King Jr., free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.